most credit for having great judgment about actually happened to you in the middle of a mistake.
Yeah, it's so true. It's, for me, there's been a lot of coming to peace with mistakes made, both recent and late kind of thing. But when I sit back and just reflect on it, it's like, what business out there is not just a collection of mistake after mistake after mistake?
Well, my boys play soccer at a pretty, my youngest boys are 15 and 12. They play soccer or football, for your listeners everywhere but North America, at a very high level. And they're down on themselves when they make a mistake or 2 or 5 or 23 in a game. And, I'll play a Champions League final or a World Cup game, and I'll say, okay, that guy gets paid 27 million pounds a year to play for Manchester City, and he just made 6 mistakes in that game.
Right.
If you think that life isn't full of mistakes you're going to make, you are setting yourself up for failure. And again, that comes back to that being at peace thing. I mean, part of being at peace is learning to forgive yourself.
How about bringing that the world of being at peace and understanding mistakes and communicating them within a team in an organization? Have you seen that? And how can you get everybody on board with the fact that mistakes are made and that it's part of building a company?
Yeah. So, one of my favorite books is a book called Integrity by Dr. Henry Cloud. And I love the subtitle, which is The Courage to Face the Demands of Reality. That is how he defines the word integrity, which is a completely different definition than the way most people assign value to that word. And so when one of my boys was struggling early in his childhood, we took him to a child psychologist, and we asked this woman a question about how to break bad news to him because he struggles with anxiety and gets upset easily. And she said, it's really simple, Paton. Tell the truth, use as few words as possible, and shut up. And her point was, just listen and ask clarifying questions and elicit him talking, And so I attempt to use the same approach as a leader when I'm leading. I fail regularly because I'm good at talking and I'm less good at listening. And but that's a constant reminder in my brain. And sometimes when I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm hearing my voice a little too much, I'll hear her in her voice say that. I'll stop talking and I'll turn the ears on and turn the mouth off.
Yeah, good points there. I want to change gears. I want to talk about EOS.
You bet.
And obviously a huge part of your life. Can you give us a high level? And let's dive into some of the mechanics of it, because it's it sounds very powerful.
I'll start high level and you take the conversation where you like. But what EOS is a simple set of concepts and tools that have been around for 1,000 years, going to be around for 1,000 more, that helps an entrepreneur and his or her leadership team get more of what they want from their business. EOS stands for the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And just like a computer has an operating system, so does a business. And that's all EOS is, very high level stuff.
It's funny because I think about an operating system for some companies, and some that I've been in and some that I've led, where it's like the blue screen of death. And you're like, clearly this software didn't work out. And so, an example of failure, okay, got to go back to the drawing board there. But when things operate in a formulaic manner, you avoid so much friction and can do stuff. So what are these concepts? And in fact, for those who are watching my video, you've got a lot of the diagrams behind you right now. Take us further.
Yeah. So, the system was built by a lifelong entrepreneur for other entrepreneurial leaders, because he recognized many, many years ago that leading an entrepreneurial company where you might be sweeping the shop floor 1 minute, hiring somebody the next minute, dealing with an angry customer the next minute, and leading and managing in a big corporation where you have the luxury of being mostly a full-time leader and manager are two different things. And so what he was able to deduce in working with entrepreneurial companies and leadership teams early on was that all entrepreneurs tend to struggle with 136 issues. And all those 136 issues kind of fall into 6 areas or categories of the same kind of stuff. And we now call those the 6 key components of EOS and the EOS model. And that diagram over my right shoulder is the EOS model. And so we believe that to run a truly great company, you need to be strong in 6 things. The vision component. You need to have a crystal clear vision of where you're going and how you plan to get there and get everybody else 100% on the same page. You need to be strong at the people component. You need to define what a great person means to your unique organization and then be really good, unfailing really, at hiring and retaining great people. You need to be strong at the data component, meaning running your business on a handful of numbers that give you an absolute pulse on the business and help you make better, stronger, faster decisions, not drowning in data and being paralyzed by that data, which has become more and more common in today's world. Back in the day when I started in business, there was no data in most organizations. Everybody was flying at the seat of their pants. The 4th key component is issues, and that's not saying you can't run a truly great organization without issues. It's saying all organizations have issues, and you need to be really good at recognizing them as they arise and then setting them up, knocking them down, and making them go away forever. Process is the art and science of getting the most important things in the business done the right and best way every time, even when the owner, leaders, or managers aren't there to direct everybody.